Hey you guys, this is Rafael from Relics.com. I hope you all doing well. I'm so thankful to be with you guys again today. Today we're going to talk about one of the most famous of all carbines, especially the Civil War carbines. It's the one you wanted to have if you had your choice during the Civil War. This one is the Spencer Cavalry Carbine. These were made in Boston, Massachusetts by the Spencer Repeating Arms Company. There were a few at the end that were made by the Burnside Rifle Company in Providence, Rhode Island. They were state-of-the-art. These guns were patented March 6, 1860. And Spencer got a leg up because he actually was able to get one of these in the hands of President Lincoln. Lincoln saw, wow, this is some hell of a gun, and we need to get these into service. What made them so special? Most of the guns of the day, of long guns, carbines, and full-length muskets and rifles, fired a single shot. That took time to load. You had to tear the paper on the cartridge, you had to pour the powder in, you had to put the bullet in, you had to force the bullet down the barrel, then you had to put the nipple, the percussion cap on the nipple. You had to do all of that while your life was in danger. This one, it was a whole different ballgame. This one fires 7 shots. All you have to do is work the action, that, then you're ready to go. That, you're ready to go. That, you're ready to go. That puts you at one heck of an advantage over those poor Confederates that were sitting over there loading each shot. The one thing that always sticks in my mind when I tell people that, at Gettysburg, there was one unit that had Spencer rifles. It was Custer's 5th Michigan Cavalry. One of the Confederates that got captured by them is quoted as saying, we never know if he said it, but it sounded good, so we always repeat it. He said, I don't know what hit me. He said, those dang Spencers, they loaded in the morning, shot all day long. And we don't know if he said it, but it's true if you think about the disadvantage that they were at. Where do you put those cartridges? The cartridges actually go in the buttstock of the gun, like this. It has a tube. The tube slides out. And how does the tube work? The tube actually has a spring on the inside of it that you load them on the end. Goes all the way in, 7 of them. Special thing, the model 1860 is the one that is strictly Civil War. There was a model 65 where they did a few different character traits on that. One of the things that they do different, the end of this is smooth on an 1860. 1865, they say, hey, if we put ribs on that, we can open it up a whole lot easier. And if you've ever messed with many of these, you see that they're not an easy thing to open sometimes. They get caked up in there and it's not as easy to open. So, how do you tell a Model 60 from a Model 65? Quick thing right off the bat, the barrel length. Barrel length on a 60 is 22 inches. Barrel length on a 65 is 20 inches. So 2 inches makes a difference. But they will have a 22-inch barrel on the early one, 20-inch on the 65. The 60 model hammer is tapered. If you notice, no, it's not. The Model 60 has a flat front hammer. The Model 65 is tapered because that way it wouldn't accidentally get cocked back and accidentally fire. But caliber size is also different. And you'll hear these referred to as a 56-56. What does that mean? It's kind of odd saying the same number twice. It's the size of the cartridge casing at the top and at the bottom. They did not taper. The actual bore on a Civil War gun is, on a Civil War Spencer Model 1860, started out life as 52 caliber. Some of them went in later on and were switched over at Springfield Arsenal and other places to fire a 50 caliber. But original size, you'll hear them referred to sometimes as 52, 56, but it's 52 caliber and the cartridge was a 56, 56. They go into detail in it in Flaterman's Guide, get a chance, get one of those guides because it will help you and it will teach you a lot. As far as markings, they did not have a ton of markings, not like a Sharps where you have patent here, patent there, patent there. On a Spencer, basically the only marking you'll see is the serial number, which falls right on the back of the block. And you'll also have back of the frame, not the back of the block. And you'll also have the March 6, 1860 patent and the Spencer Rifle Company marking on the frame like that. These guns, they saw a hell of a lot of service. So it's tough to find one in very pretty shape. That's why until this one, I didn't have one that was really nice that I could show you. This one is pretty. It's got some of the original case color. With these guns, it's important to know whether or not they were military used. They made 144,500 of these guns. 107,372 of them were bought by the government. How do you know the difference? There's a few things you want to see. You want to see a cartouche. And a cartouche, like we've talked about in other videos, is a small stamping that was put on there when it was approved by the military inspector to let you know that it was a military gun. Most of the time on a Spencer, they're very, very light. They very rarely show up where they're crystal clear. If you see one that just knocks your socks off, unless the rest of the gun is absolutely stone mint, be careful because people do re-stamp those. This one, you can see them. They're a little faint, but they are there, and you know that this is a military gun. As far as the carbines, they made 50,000 for the U.S. government during the Civil War. They started off with a serial number of 11,000. Makes you sound like you got a lot better business if you start off with 11,000 rather than one. So not only did he get it in front of Lincoln, he was smart enough to know where to start them. But the Civil War Cavalry Carbine started 11,000, go to 61,000 approximately. So that's the range that you like to see a Civil War one. So you want to see the serial number range in the right place. You want to see the cartouche. You want to see matching serial numbers. You also want to see that it isn't one of those that went back for conversion later on. It does affect the price a little bit. I've always kind of liked them because they had two lives. They had the Civil War life, and then they were still in government use enough that they went back, and a lot of them were used in the Indian Wars and out west. So that's a lot to cover in 7 minutes and 56 seconds, but we did it. Woohoo! So if you get a chance, go to ShilohRelics.com. Check this one out. I've got a couple more I bought out of a collection that I hope to get written up soon. I hope that you guys are doing well. Like I've told you sometimes, you never know what to say and what not to say. I have watched some people lately that don't want people to be happy. I don't understand it. They have had something go horribly awry in their life, and it just makes them bitter. And I understand bitter. God, I have been as bitter as any human could probably ever be. But I realize just because I'm bitter doesn't mean I ought to make everybody else around me bitter. So if somebody rubs you the wrong way, or somebody has rubbed you the wrong way, take a second and say, I'll never forget, but I forgive you. Because carrying around that weight, hate is too heavy to carry. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Don't carry that hate. It'll eat you up, it'll gnaw you out, and it'll make you a bitter, horrible person. Take a deep breath. Remember, you becoming that person is not going to make them any better. So try to keep a positive outlook. Try to be kind to those around you. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And remember, ain't none of us walked on water. I've tried every day of my life, and I have yet to do it. Maybe today. No, I already screwed up this morning. Maybe tomorrow. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for allowing me to do what I get to do. I love you guys, and I'll catch you next time.